Hey girls, where is Rebecca? Is she late as usual?
I don't think she's coming today. Abigail, text her and find out.
Just messaged me and said she can't make it. She's at the doctor. She think Roy may have given her something. Again? She say the doctor then think it's syphilis.
Syphilis, what even is that?
The pathogen, Treponema pallidum, is a bacterium which produces a sexual transmitted disease known as syphilis. Syphilis is a bacterial infection that is transferred through sexual intercourse. Diffusion of syphilis can occur during vaginal, anal, or oral sex. It is transmitted from person to person by a direct contact with a syphilitic sore known as chancre. Chancre can develop on the external genitals, such as inside the vagina, around the anus, or in or around the mouth. Also, the bacterial infection spreads from mucous membrane contact with these sores. Syphilis develops in stages. There are like 4 stages of syphilis, and symptoms diverge with each stage. Keep in mind, symptoms don't necessarily transpire in the same sequence. You can be infected with the disease and will not show signs of any symptoms.
Wow. So how do even someone get that?
And how do they know they have it?
Good evening. Today I'll be telling you about the symptoms and transmissions of syphilis. Syphilis is a sexually transmitted disease more commonly known as an STD. Symptoms of the primary stage of syphilis include multiple open sores in or around the genital or anal areas or around the mouth. They are usually firm and painless and can last from 3 to 6 weeks. The secondary stage of syphilis are rashes, mucous membrane lesions, and hair loss. Rashes may appear on the palm of the hands and on the sole of the feet and are rough and red or brown in color. Other symptoms of this stage can include swollen lymph glands, sore throat, weight loss, fever, headache, muscle aches, and fatigue. During the latent stage of syphilis, the individual exhibits no signs or symptoms. Symptoms are hidden, but the individual can still transmit the disease to others. During the tertiary stage of syphilis, multiple organ systems of the body can be affected, such as the eyes, heart, brain and blood vessels, nerves, liver, bones, and joints. This can lead to severe illness or even death. Syphilis can be transmitted from person to person through direct contact with a syphilitic sore known as a canker. Syphilis can be transmitted during unprotected vaginal, anal, or oral intercourse. Additionally, pregnant women that are infected can transmit the disease to their unborn child through the placenta.
Ew. Is it a virus? Is it a bacteria? What actually causes it?
Today we will be talking about Syphilis pallidum, which is the bacteria that causes syphilis. Syphilis pallidum is a gram-negative bacteria from the spirochete family. That is why it is shaped like this. It has a spiral shape. That's where they get the name spirochete from. It is an obligate parasite that cannot survive outside of the body. The only host it can affect or it can live in is the human body. The Syphilis pallidum takes all its nutrients from the human body to create adenosine triphosphate or ATP, which it can only generate through glycolysis. This bacteria has flagella, endoflagella to be exact. These endoflagellas contain or are made up of protein filaments, as you can see over here. These endoflagellus allow this bacteria to move in a twisting manner. Let's have a closer look at the tip of this bacteria. As you can see, the tip is sharp. So when it enters the body, it breaks the skin, and that causes sores and bumps. When it enters the body, the tip over here, when it enters the body, it moves in this way because it's spiral. So the rest of the body spirals, the rest of the body of this bacteria spirals through its host cell, which are humans. These pathogens can be viewed under a dark field microscope, which is the gold standard for viewing them. Another way that it can be viewed is through fluorescent lighting or silver impregnation. In addition to that, in order to confirm that the pathogen we are dealing with is Tephanemia pallidum, we can do a blood culture.
Interesting. How do they get rid of that?
There are no home treatment remedies or over-the-counter drugs that will cure syphilis, but syphilis is easy to cure in its early stages. Syphilis can be cured with the right antibiotics. However, treatment will not undo any damages that the infection has already caused. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, a single intramuscular injection of the long-acting benzathine penicillin will cure a person who has primary, secondary, or even early latent syphilis. For those individuals with the late latent syphilis or syphilis of unknown duration will require 3 doses of long-acting benzathine penicillin at weekly intervals. Persons who are allergic to penicillin will be likely to be treated with different antibiotics, dicortazine or sulfazone. Treatment for the latent syphilis and the terrestrial syphilis requires a longer durations of therapy because organisms theoretically might be divided more slowly. Longer treatment duration is required for persons with latent syphilis or unknown durations to ensure that those who did not acquire syphilis within the preceding year are adequately treated. Selection of the appropriate penicillin preparation is important because trinomial prodrug can reside in sequential sites that are poorly accessed by certain forms of penicillin. Persons with syphilis must notify their sex partner so that they can be treated and receive treatment if necessary.
So, how many people have it?
Since the adverse of penicillin, syphilis is not only preventable but also treatable. Despite this, it remains a global problem with an estimated 12 million persons infected each year. Pregnant women who are infected with syphilis can transmit the infection to their fetus, causing genital syphilis, with several adverse effects on the pregnancy in up to 80% of the cases. Despite the availability of simple diagnosis tests and the effectiveness of treatment with a single dose of long-acting penicillin, syphilis is re-emerging as a global public health problem, particularly among men who have sex with men in high-income and middle-income countries. Syphilis also causes several hundred stillbirths and neonatal death each year in developing nations. Although several low-income countries have achieved WHO targets for the elimination of congenital syphilis, an alarming increase in the prevalence of syphilis in HIV-infected male who have sex with male serve as a strong reminder of the tendency of T. pudendum as a pathogen.
So in the group chat, they're saying Roger, Rachel, Tom, Chrissy, Patrick, and their significant others all have this thing. Now they're talking about it on the news. I'm beginning to think this is a pandemic. Now they're talking.
Ladies, I've made us all an appointment. We all should go and get tested.